It's Ned Desmond from Go Fishing, and I'm here with Tom Sadler on the Rapidan River. We're fishing tenkara. Tom's a leading tenkara enthusiast, and he's so good at teaching people tenkara that I just caught a nice 8-inch brown trout here, which is a real beauty.
Brook trout.
Brook trout. Jeez, what am I talking about? Anyway, that's how excited I am. In any case, Tom's going to talk for a couple minutes here about tenkara fishing.
Well, Dan, the advantage of a tenkara rod is you've got this long length and a very light line. It's actually a furled leader, and you get to make these long casts, and you get a very, very superior drift because you don't have line dragging the fly out of the water. And what we're fishing is a parachute Adams, about a size 14, with a pheasant tail nymph behind it. And as you can see, I can stand back here on the bank, make a very simple cast, and put the fly right into the feeding zone, and follow it with my rod tip right into the hot spot. And when you were fishing, you put it right in the feeding zone, and we're able to hook up very easily. And the interesting thing about the tenkara is the rod tip bends tremendously, so you're protecting this 5X tippet. And that was his, you know, that's a trophy brook trout. Now you got me doing it. Brook trout in the park here, and we were able to bring him in very easily. We slide the line back to ourselves, grab it right at the connection, and then easily just bring the fish in and land him. And you did a terrific job. You saw the fish, you put the fly out where he was, and you hooked up. And it's really that simple. It is a cast. A lot of people think it's just dapping, but you actually make a cast, and then you can high stick and keep the line off the water and not have the line drag the fly out of the feeding zone or disturb the fish, because you're not putting any line in the water that's going to create any line slide. So you just raise your arm up, raise the tip of the rod, float the fly out into the feeding zone, and hope for a hookup.
One of the things that really impressed me is the drifts you can get with this. I really didn't expect that.
Well, where you might, with a conventional setup, get a decent drift, here you're going to get a drift that lasts 2 and 3 times longer, which gives people who are not really good with line management with a conventional rod can now actually get the kind of drift that they need to get the fish to rise to the fly and have success. And that's one of the things that I really like about tenkara, is that it's a technique that gets people fishing. And because line management and the drift is so important when you're trying to catch fish, having something that makes that drift that much easier to achieve is what, to me, has made me a big enthusiast for the tenkara. Yeah. And this is a 11-foot 6-4 action tenkara USA Iwana, and they have a variety of different rods for different applications. But here in the park, the 11-foot rod seems to be just about perfect.
Well, it is perfect for me.
Well, that was a wonderful fish, Dan. I mean, that was really a wonderful fish.
Yeah, that was a great fish.
And I'm glad you managed to, you were able to master it very quickly. We've only been out here about 20 minutes. And for you to hook up on a trophy brook trout is just terrific.
Yeah, well, I'll say, I'm very happy about that. So this is really a great teaching instrument, isn't it? Because you can get people to focus on the drift of the fly more than anything else, as opposed to all the other stuff that can go into tight water fishing.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that because if if I were just teaching casting, I'd want to teach them with a conventional rod. But to get them fishing, to get them to understand the importance of line management and the drift, the tenkara really helps them get into the water and fishing. And from there, and the tenkara isn't for every type of fishing, but once you understand the principles of drift and line management, you can transition to the conventional rod and understand, you know, when the guide says you need a better drift or you need to mend, you'll understand what they're talking about, and you'll be able to see the result of what line management, why line management is so important. So, as I say, you know, I wouldn't be fishing for shad with it, but I sure as heck use it here in the park every time I fish.
Well, it's great being out here with you, Tom, and we're going to have a great morning of fishing together.
You betcha. We're going to move up into the smaller water where we'll be trying a little bit different technique that gets a longer drift in a place in short pools, very small pools, what I refer to as buckets. And you'll be able to be very stealthy, ninja fishing, and find that you can reach into those buckets and get a nice drift without having to get a lot of line on the water and potentially bonk the fish and scare them. So this just works really well in the park and any of these small streams. It's also really good in spring creeks where the fish are spooky and you really need to be able to get a good drift to get them to take a fly.
Great. Thanks for that lesson in tenkara, Tom.
My pleasure. And congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful Shenandoah National Park brook trout.
Great. Thanks.